Greetings, land of YouTube. We've got Bitcoin action. I've got this line on here for the weekly close, which is going to come in Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Central Time. Got this off of Crown's Crypto Cave. He spent time on the New York Stock Exchange floor as a market maker, so he's a pretty good analyst. So basically the story here is if it closes under this line, it's just not good. If it closes above it, then it's still not that good. Sorry to tell you. Here's what we're dealing with. So I'm getting messages from channels I'm subscribed to, big time YouTube, Bitcoin channels, crypto channels. Last one just came in from one of the biggest channels out there. Said cryptocurrencies ready to explode. Investors be ready. And I'm sorry, but I'm starting to see things a little more clear, I think. No one can look at this cycle here and say this is about to explode. If anything, it's about to dump. Anyways, I was going to make this video before that message came in, but it fits in pretty good with what I want to talk about real quick here. So I Googled market cycles, trying to find a market cycle somewhere, some kind of theory that says we can go on this enormous run and then come into a distribution phase and have it drop in to an accumulation phase that leads immediately back up. Lots of YouTubers are putting an accumulation phase here. They'll take an accumulation phase, they'll show you accumulation phase and say it's a Wyckoff accumulation, and they'll show it going up. And this whole thing is a Wyckoff distribution pattern. And when it comes down this side, they're not called accumulations, they're called distributions. They go down. That's this market cycle we're in. So real quick, I want to say I am part moon boy. So over on this left side here going up, the reason I was moon boy is because Bitcoin has a fixed supply. And if it comes to a supply and demand crisis where there's no supply with a huge demand, that's when Bitcoin can go to $1 million. Okay, but that we were starting to get up into there where it was, starting to make sense to talk about it. But this peak here is the problem. As soon as this guy came in, this lower high here with the Elon Musk tweet, perfectly timed, intentional, right here. As soon as that came in, the story changed. So it felt Bitcoin isn't anything different at this point. It's fallen back into supply and demand, right? It's not that fixed cap on Bitcoin. It's not, can't even talk about it now. Maybe someday when we start approaching up, to $100,000 of Bitcoin, we can start talking about that. But that's over with. Those days are gone. Sorry to tell you. But that was my whole basis for saying Bitcoin can go to 200, 300,000, 500,000 million. And later this year, maybe it has a chance to get back up to 100 to 200,000. I'm not saying that's not impossible. October, November, December, that's a long ways away. So who knows? But right now, I don't know who in their right mind, or I don't know. This isn't a time where you tell people to invest. Looking for a pattern that, so this one here is what a lot of YouTubers are showing. See this here? They'll say we're in a Wyckoff phase right now, an accumulation phase. It goes up, right? So that is the piece that fits back here, right? In November of 2020, January of 2021. See how it goes up. See how it goes up. We're on the other side of that now. So these are called distributions over here. I pulled up a few examples. So here's the Dow theory of this market cycle we're in. Accumulation here back in November 2020. You could probably even extend it back into October, maybe September. But anyways, and then so Dow just kind of words it a little different, but it's very similar. They call it public participation instead of reaccumulation. Phase 2. Phase 3 excess is where Wyckoff gets into distribution. That's the bull market. And then coming back down in the bear market, it's called distribution. So there's that lower high, right? Boom. There's the Elon Musk tweet here. And then we're down here right now in public participation. So what public participation is this is where the YouTubers are saying cryptocurrency is about to explode. Investors be ready, right? And And this is the general public. This is what Dow and Wyckoff were trying to teach, right? This is where the general public gets mauled. Get in now, get in now. And then boom, just in time for the panic phase, right? So let's just read this real quick. Oh, wait, no, next one. So here's the Dow. I actually had mistaken this for a Wyckoff chart in the past. It's basically the same thing. But I just want to read real quick what this market phase we're in right now says. Dow theory and Wyckoff theory says this is the Dow theory, how the Dow theory is worded. A primary trend will pass through 3 phases, according to Dow theory. In a bull market, which we're not in right now, these are the accumulation phase right here, the public participation phase, or the big move phase, the reaccumulation here, up to there, and the excess phase. And then excess and distribution. In a bear market, they're called the distribution phase, the public participation phase, and the panic or despair phase. So these messages I'm getting from big YouTube channels saying, investors be ready, it's about to explode. It's literally right at the time, right before the public panic and despair phase. The below image explains the same with a few added details. Actually, they have this paragraph in the wrong spot, but this should be up here. I think they added it twice. So we're here, right? We're in redistribution. So I'm trying to find some sort of theory that'll fit what a lot of these YouTubers are saying. I'm trying to find a theory that any chart out there. I'm trying to find one that says we can have a massive move up like this, and then we come into the bear market in the distribution phase. I'm trying to find a chart that says we can drop out of distribution from up here, can drop down and immediately drop into accumulation, right? And I can't find a cycle chart that says that. Maybe it's out there. If you can find one, link it down in the description, and I'll even pin your comment up at the top of the comment section, and with a heart, and I'll pin it up there for everyone to see. If anyone out there can find a chart with a massive move like this, and then it comes down out of the distribution phase and it drops immediately into an accumulation phase, all right? If anyone can find that chart, link it down in the description, and I'll pin the comment. Here's some more examples. There's the Dow showing. Here's the Wyckoff, right? We're about right here, right? And the Wyckoff. Let me draw these couple support lines in here and make it maybe a little more clear to what I'm talking about. So this is the support lines for this general area, something like this. That's the support lines underneath the distribution, and you can see the reaccumulation on this side, and the redistribution on this side is bumping its head on that. So in this diagram, we're kind of like right here, right? And notice phase E, what it does way down here, right? So there's the distribution. There's where we are in the Dow theory. There's another Wyckoff chart. Accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, redistribution, with a long ways to go down. Another Wyckoff chart showing volume. Accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution. Here's where we are. See right here how it's come down, and now it's bumping. This one's calling it break the ice. It's come down past those support lines, and now it's bumping its head on the support lines. But what does this show next? Big dump, right? So we're going to need some big red candles, and of course, if it dumps, there will be big red candles. There's distribution, dumps down into the redistribution, and it's kind of got this down here, dump, and then maybe a pump back up, and then a dump. So who knows for sure what's going to happen exactly after we get to redistribution. And this one shows, I like this one. This has got the accumulation here, reaccumulation, distribution, dumps down into redistribution, and then swings down here. So it's real dicey, right? And that just leads down into the accumulation. Here's where the accumulation phase would happen. on a Dow and Wyckovian logic. Is it Wyckovian or Wyckofian logic? This is an accumulation right here. See, drop out of distribution, redistribution, dropping all the way down here to accumulation. So on this chart, an accumulation, if you follow those theories and that logic, the accumulation is not here, it's down here. And whether it goes like this, you know, who knows what this is going to look like, but however it gets down there, I'm smelling death wick just based on what I've seen, you know. But regardless of how it gets down there, the accumulation would be down here somewhere, right? The whole point of this video is I can't find a cycle chart that says we can have a massive move like this, go into distribution, put in this lower low, drop into an accumulation phase. Like I don't find that. Every chart I see says this is redistribution, where the public is literally misled just in time for what? The panic, despair phase, right? So this is just something to keep in mind. I'm not saying this is a guarantee and this definitely going to dump, but no one should be saying this is a market that looks like it's about to explode upwards, right? Just, you might want to, I don't want to be rude, but you might want to stop watching people that are saying that. Maybe it does go like this for a couple months. Maybe that does happen. Anyone that just quickly Googles these market cycles and looks at this shouldn't be telling you cryptocurrency is about to explode, investors be ready, right? Investors be ready for panic and despair. This kind of shows into the future. So we're right here on this chart right now, bumping our head on the distribution support. This horizontal blue line is the distribution support line. And we're right underneath of it right now in a redistribution. See, we bumped our head off of it, came up close to it. We're also banging down, right? Banging down. See this right here? Bang, 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 bang. And then finally down. And this is showing actually dropping into a second redistribution phase. We're just kind of testing, boom, dump. So we could have another redistribution and another dump coming, right? That could put us down under, like, you know, around 20,000. I don't know for sure. No one knows for sure. But I like this chart because it shows a little bit into the future. This one shows a nice little, once we actually hit the true bottom, this shows a nice little short accumulation, and then boom. The moon phases I showed in my last video, the moon phases are just kind of a joke. The moon phases just happen to be lining up with these Fibonacci lines. The Fibonacci lines are not a joke. They're a real thing. The interesting thing about the one coming up here, June 24th, there's a full moon, and it falls right on this Fibonacci line. The moon's just a joke, right? It's just fun, just clickbait fun. But the reason why I'm doing that is because it falls on top of this Fibonacci line, and this Fibonacci line is also right on top of a quarterly futures close, right? It's a monthly futures close last Friday of the month. This is a quarterly close. But a lot of interest is waning in Bitcoin, and there's, without a doubt, money is leaving this market. I know a lot of Bitcoiners don't want to hear that, but we're down 40-50% from the high just a short time ago. That's a massive amount of money being taken out of the market. June 25th, this is the quarterly close. We got a full moon right on top of it, along with a Fibonacci line. And if you look at these Fibonacci lines all the way back to February, massive dump, massive dump, massive dump, enormous dump. And then here's the last Fibonacci line. It was actually took 2 days here, and then massive dump. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last 5 Fibonacci lines, all huge dumps. This last one actually took 2 days before it actually dumped. But we've got another full moon smack dab on top of the next Fibonacci line, and it looks like the full moons are just kind of accidentally lining up on the Fibonacci lines. But it's interesting. It's definitely no one can look at that and say it's not interesting. So we got Fibonacci line, full moon about here, smack dab on top of a quarterly close futures. So we will see. I would recommend to investors to just don't invest right now. Looking at that, right? Dow theory, Wyckoff theory simply state this is the public participation phase, also known as the redistribution phase, where the public's being told, or the public thinks, oh, it's been a 50% dump. It's a great time to get in. Panic and despair. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just something to think about. I could be wrong. But the supply and demand issue I was talking about on the way up here, where there would be a supply crunch that would lead to a massive pump, that's off the table. It's not even on a chair. It's spilled down onto the ground. You got to get a paper towel, clean it up. That's where that theory's at right now. So this is just Bitcoin's bound by this market, regardless of you hear big, YouTubers talking about this person's going to put $1 billion in, this person's going to put $1 billion in. See that those big buys by rich people and institutions, they're not done on this market. This is the retail market. This is the general public. The Michael Saylors and Elon Musk, those type level people, they're buying over the counter. So they do that so it does not affect the price, because they don't want to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and have the price shoot up, where if they want to buy again, now it's super expensive. So they buy over the counter. That does not affect this market. So Bitcoin is bound by this market, nothing else. There might be YouTubers out there saying on-chain metrics say this and whales are doing that and blah, 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 blah. But this Bitcoin at the moment is bound by this market, right? It doesn't matter if a billionaire somewhere buys $1 billion of Bitcoin over the counter. It doesn't affect this market whatsoever. The news of it could have a little pump because the retail people are like, oh, hey, someone just bought, so I'm going to buy, right? But it's just something to be aware of. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching.